Good morning, gardening friends. Today is Sunday, the 19th of October. It is a beautiful day outside. We got some blessed rain last night. We needed it because we're in a drought. Don't know how much we got. We'll check it in the rain gauge when we get out back, but it rained a couple of times last night. Here all is well. I started planting bulbs. Oh, by the way, Lowe's as well as Owl's 5 a dime have their fall bulbs in already. So I bought my amaryllis. I usually get 4 amaryllis bulbs from Lowe's. I get the red lion, the red ones, and Owl's had apple blossoms, so I bought me 2 of those, potted them up. And Owl's also has, and Lowe's does as well, have paper whites. And I don't know what it is about paper whites, but they have doubled in price since last year. So I'm not going to be planting quite as many. But there is my first batch of paper whites for the season. Everything else is stored in my little mini fridge in the den. I dumped out or put out, I should say, the caladiums that were in that pot. And just did a general cleanup of some of my potted plants. Orchids still doing well. I do like the look of that fern, although eventually it will outgrow that spot. I can raise the chain some if I need to. Let's see, anything else going on in here? Not really. Everything else is looking good. I did put out my fall wreath. I should say wreaths, as well as on those doors. And put out my Halloween stuff. I got these things years ago and I forgot that I had them, so I went ahead and put them out. Oh, an honorable mention is this African violet is still looking very nice over here. In fact, I have to turn that light on. I don't know why it didn't go on this morning. I bought this book at an antique shop where I get most of my books from now on, but I'm going to start seeing if I can play the piano again. My fingers got rusty. Let me see if I can turn the light on. Yep, it turned on. Yeah, I hadn't played the piano in quite a few years. So my fingers they're not quite as nimble as they used to be. But that is old age. And when you look at the alternatives, this is better than the alternative. Hi, Miss Mimi. Are you sleeping? You're not even going to look at the camera today? Yes. I got a new needlepoint this last week. I used to do needlepoints years ago. It's an old bell pull, but I thought it would go well in here. And I also got out the fall quilt and bought a new quilt from Amazon. I kind of like those beigey and red colors. Of course, I have another quilt for Christmas. That was one of my goals way back when, was to get a quilt for every season, and now I've got it. Only it's kind of a pain in the butt. I store them on top of my armoire in the bedroom. It's a pain to get them down. This orchid is still doing well. This one, to be perfectly honest, I don't know if it's going to make it. I haven't seen any new growth at all on the bloom stalks, but it was worth a shot. It was inexpensive enough. I had that front porch enclosed. That was my goal way back when, 25 years ago, I guess, was to do orchids, raise orchids on that porch. Of course, back then orchids were expensive. Nowadays you can get an orchid for $10 or $12. My succulents are doing well. This is a north-facing window. I see there's some new growth on my Christmas cactuses. No buds yet, but let's go out front, or out back rather. Oh, there are some of the pussycats. The black and white one is Peanut, and I didn't get a close look at the blonde one to see his tail to know which one is which. Oh, rain. How much rain did we get last night? Oh, let's see. Well, a little over 1.5 inches, not quite 2, which is good. We sorely needed it. Are you eating, Peanut? Every time I come out. It's funny when I feed these cats, because all the cats, how many ever are here, 3 or 4, there's one that's kind of just straggles in. It could be anyone. But in any event, they all run around in circles when I bring out the food, and they all go to the bowl that I'm filling at the time. There are 4 bowls and 4 cats, so each cat has its own bowl, but they prefer to rush from bowl to bowl to bowl to bowl and finish them that way. Cat logic, I guess. I did see here, I bought these 2 irises. I don't remember which ones they were, from Lowe's a few weeks ago. And I figured I'd pot them up until they sprouted, and then I'll move them to the front yard. I just wanted to make sure they got a good head start before I planted them out in the ground. That wandering dude out front can definitely swallow them up. Caladiums are doing fine. Not caladiums, the cyclamen are doing fine. I did go to Lowe's again. I did not see any cyclamen, so apparently this is not a big year for cyclamen. Usually there are many choices to choose from. Not this year. This Nepenthes is looking fabulous. I have been pruning it back little by little, and it's got a bunch of shoots at the top. But this year I won't make the same mistake. I'll cut these 2 long stakes off. I don't know if you can root a Nepenthes if I take a cutting and just stick it in the dirt. If you all have had any experience with that, let me know. Seems a shame to throw this out and not try to root it, so we'll see. But definitely the pot will remain. I'll bring it inside. My species amaryllis are turning a nice dark green. They've leafed out again. Hopefully they'll bloom. Back in here, all is well. Overhead, the Angel's Trumpets, Brugmansia, are starting to bloom again, putting on their fall push. Uh-oh. There goes one cat. This chrysanthemum is finally coming into its own. And I must say that the papyrus has done exceedingly well now that the cats have stopped jumping on it. I don't know what I'll do with it next year. I may group it all into one pot. We'll see. And I also noticed my desert rose is starting to lose its leaves, but apparently it did that last year. And then I brought it inside for the winter, and then it sprouted back. I should start seeing some activity on this golden chalice vine, but I haven't yet. I must say I do like this tricolor ginger a lot better since I separated it out into rosettes. It did not look good when you had a bunch of rosettes in one pot, but when I separated them out into individual pots, I kind of like the look a little better, and it's a little easier for me to carry around and bring in. Have to be careful going down this deck because it's probably a little slick. Mandevilla is still doing fine. I shall go very slowly. Usually it's this last little bit of, there we go, wood that's extremely slippery. Now let's go this way. The wandering dude is still in bloom. I did some gardening this week, not a lot. Had some exciting news that I'll tell you about when we get to the Garçonnière. Oh, I did not turn the fountains on because of the rains. Bananas are easily 20 feet up. They're looking fine. Of course, well, these will probably fare well when they do the roof because they're above the roof. I will have to cut the fronds down that are touching the roof here. You really shouldn't have palm fronds on the roof because the rubbing will damage your shingles. But all my new roof will go on the last week of this month, hopefully. Weather permitting. this lady palm is really coming into its own, which is, it's a shame because it's usually the case. Every year about this time it looks its best. And of course the frost is going to nip it back down again and we'll start the procedure all over again. But such are the seasons. This angel's trumpet has risen above the nandinas. I don't see any flowers on it yet. I may cut out a little piece of sunshine above it. We'll see. I like the way the ferns are growing. I did not plant those there. They just sort of, they don't really seed. I guess they just spored themselves way up there. Or maybe the birds brought them. I don't know how they got there. Oh, some animal was in here and twisted this bird bath. Back in here, oh, some animal was ripping that apart because I guess there's bugs in there. You can tell because a lot of that coir is on the ground here. It is what it is. It is perfect, very light material to plant your bromeliads in. I don't know why, but the fatsia here is dying back, maybe because of the drought that we had. I water it, but I don't water it quite as much. Well, my little tractor is out, full of water from last night. I was going to weed here and never made it to it. Let me go ahead and empty the water out of it. It's one of the design flaws. I may go ahead and drill some plastic and drill some holes in the plastic so it doesn't catch water or doesn't hold water. Ooh, the pink is really coming out in this brugmansia. No, it's got a little bit of scent, but it's really scented at night. These almost don't look pink, but they will turn pink. And the peach is over here. They have turned into a huge, huge plant. They're competing with my pecan. This pecan, I believe, is its 4th year. You have to check me on that. It's either the 3rd or 4th year from a nut. And I liked its spot there. I didn't really do too much back in here. I think I trimmed this up and straightened up a few things. No, I did that last week. I didn't really do an awful lot this week outside. But it's still looking good. The frangipani is looking really nice. Of course, all those leaves are going to fall off in the fall. But it's nice and lush. It's the lushest it's ever been. And the fruits on this pindo palm are starting to ripen. This pindo has never ripened its fruits yet. So maybe this year. There's my cryptomerias that I planted a couple of weeks ago. There's some gardening waste. That's where I keep it. Just about lost all the leaves on my plum, my Ozark plum. Normal for this time of year. And now you can start to see the kumquats are starting to turn. They're turning orange little by little. Lots of buds on the camellias here. The toad lilies are still blooming. It's a shame they don't have a scent. They always reminded me of orchids. A very pretty flower. And some animal was here and was breaking up my newly planted hydrangea. However, it still has a bunch of shoots near the base. Something's been digging at the bark of my citrus tree, which is not a good thing. It may have killed that tree, but we shall see. It's peeling all the way down. No blossoms right now on the bougainvillea. I did put new thyme over here. I planted a bunch. I bought 4 batches of thyme because all of the old thyme that I had died on me. So I have it in pots in various places. This lavender is starting to sprout up. It looks like something's been jumping on my flowers over there. The cats don't bother the flowers anymore, but what they do is they fight with each other and sometimes get a little carried away. This was the news of the last week as well. Still haven't gotten that pushed back into the closet yet. That's one of the things I'm going to have to do. Let me shut this AC unit off. We don't need it on. But I need to paint that closet back there. And it turned out my neighbor's nephew across the street caught him working on her front porch. And he gave me a quote to go ahead and spackle and paint this room, which is good. So he'll push that back into the closet after I paint the closet and then remove everything. He said he can handle taking everything down and putting everything back again. So hopefully this room will be painted. It has been, a tree fell in the backyard and rested on this roof, and it put a little pressure which split the, sheetrock. And then of course, when the walls were done on the outside, they required renailing, and some of it you can see there broke through. So I'm a master of disguise. I cover a lot of things with rugs and pictures. But needless to say, this room will be done, and I narrowed it down to 2 choices of colors. I kind of like the yellow that's here now. And I think I'm going to go, you probably can't tell, but this one right there. It's a yellow with just a hint of peach in it. The runner-up was this color with the one where my thumb is. But I have been bitten before by peach. I painted my bedroom peach many years ago, and what looks peach on this little bit turns pink when you put it in the room that's dimly lit. So I'm going to stick with the yellow that I've got, just go with a slightly deeper version of the yellow. It has to go with the floor. I like this color of the floor. There's the paints I bought, ceiling paint, and I know that the people that do my roof are going to be Hispanic, so I wrote chimney paint in Spanish. It's just, I'm providing the chimney paint. They're going to paint my chimney and paint the trim. So a lot's happening. That's going to happen the first week of November. So last week of October, the roof. First week of November, the garage or the garçonniere. It's happening quickly, considering it's been 10 years since the trees fell. I'll be happy to get that off of my to-do list. This is still blooming up a storm. And again, all the flowers have fallen off the bougainvilleas. This is really thick in here. Oh, I didn't tell you, I didn't show you. Well, you've seen them before, but what the heck, I'm here. This is where I'm starting the apple blossom. The 2 amaryllis. They were huge bulbs that I got at Al's. And I don't typically buy apple blossom, but since I had my quota of the red ones that I put in the front yard, I thought I would get a couple of different colors just to shake it up a bit. I don't know where I'll plant them. Probably in here. I think I have a couple of apple blossoms there. Ah, Godot was here last night because there's mud inside of his water dish. That's an indication that he came because he always gets sand and mud in there. That is Fluffy. I probably ought to call him Foxy because of his tail. His tail always looks like he's afraid. Fluffed out. The two ginger cats are not tame. They're all feral cats, but they don't let me touch them. But they kind of like to be around me, so they'll follow me around in the backyard and stay close. Not much happened here. I never did get up here to train the stuff. Yellow jasmine. But it'll happen. I'm kind of shying away from doing anything too near the house because I kind of am getting very, oh, what's the right word? Fatalistic. Oh, that's probably not the right word, but it's as close as I can get. I know there's going to be damage done to the plants around the house when the roof gets done, so I figured, why waste your time prettying things up until after the roof? And look at this, even though it got weed whacked down, this toad lily is doing well. I thought I would try it here because it's the same exposure as the one in the backyard. So it's doing fine there. Would have been doing better if it didn't get weed whacked, but such is life. When things like that happened, I don't get upset. It's just kind of a challenge. Figure how to deal with it. I am unburdened from things that have been. You can see here how the fruits of the prickly apple have burst open, and those seeds are quite potent, and they will give me other daturas. My tomato is giving me little tomatoes, which are quite delicious. Skins are a little bit much, but it's nothing like a fresh tomato, even for a teeny tiny one. My equisetum is thickening up again. Oh, I see some trash has blown in. I'll have to pick it up later. Well, it got a little windy. More trash. You can tell I haven't walked the yard yet. I did water in things yesterday here in the front yard. I finally replanted all of my gardenias. I did this patch over here over the last couple of days. These ginger lilies had overwhelmed the gardenias, and you can see they're kind of thugs because they take all the sun and moisture. I think that gardenia will make it. Although, to be truthful, I would have yanked it out, but I cleared the plant shop that I got all these things at. I get them at A Bloom Garden Center. I cleared the garden center out of this size gardenia. So if they had two more, I would have bought two more. They said they'll be ordering them, and I'll put one more here, and I'll probably replace that one. Why they died this year, I don't know. It is what it is. I do fertilize once a year. And this little evergreen is doing really well. Uh-oh. I feel there's a mole under my feet. I'm sinking in the ground. And this cassia is starting to send out some flowers. It's not quite as beautiful as it has been, but it is coming out. Fig is losing leaves hand over fist, but it still has fruit, and there is a chance that that fruit will make it. It's not turning black yet, but it's actually the one is at the top of that clump is turning a little black. So it may make some figs yet. We have till the middle of November before frost. Here you can see the Japanese plum, or loquats, are starting to open. Very fragrant here. Ooh, just got into a spider web. One thing I have to do this week is underneath all of this Mexican heather, or not Mexican heather, Mexican petunia, is Louisiana iris, and I want to dig them up and replant them. Those two iris that I have that I'm sprouting on the deck are going to go here and there, so I have a foursome around this bird bath. I need to get all the leaves off of the walkway here. That Nandina has totally defoliated. Well, to be truthful, Nandinas are like weeds here. So when I water, I don't bother watering the Nandinas, but I water everything else. Here you can see a close-up of the flowers. Oh, another spider web. I hear the birds. The birds are wanting to get at their bird food. And I just cleaned all the sprouted seeds up in there. Well, of course, what I did is I just got the ones off the top and I stirred up the soil, so new ones are coming up now. But usually animals, birds, whatever, like to get the little young shoots, which is good. Oh, I wanted to tell you about spurge today, but I should have done it in the backyard. I have a plague of spurge. Let's see if any of this is still alive, so you know what I'm talking about. No. I was very thorough yesterday in spraying it. I'm just looking to... There's one that's been sprayed. It should be green. There's one that's still green. And spurge is an insidious plant, because if you weed whack it, it just spreads it around. It has little seeds on the underside, and if you weed whack it, which I've done here, it spreads the seeds around, and you'll have, where you just had one plant, you'll have thousands or hundreds of plants. Really, the only way to kill it is either to pull it up by its root totally. If you leave any little piece of the root, there's another version, they're all small here. You grab it by the heart and yank it out, or you spray it. So I used ground clear. You want something with a powerful, well, it's also listed for killing spurge. But like I said, I made the mistake of weed whacking it, and it just spreads the seeds around, and then you wind up having, you know, lots and lots and lots of it. Really, the only way to kill it is to use some kind of a chemical. Now, you can Google and find organic ways. At my age, I just go straight for the hard stuff, and I use ground clear for it. Oh, I see all kinds of trash. It was windy last night. Oh my goodness! The first sasanquas of the season. I just saw the sunlight glistening, and well, that's going to be the plant of the week. White doves. They got beat a little by the water last night, but that's the first sasanqua blooms of the year, and I've got lots and lots more. So next week that'll be chock-a-block full of them. But there you have it for the day. It's a beautiful day today. It's not terribly muggy just yet. It's supposed to be getting cool. We shall see. But I'll leave you with a picture of the potager. That particular lavender was planted at the same time as the one in the backyard, but it seems to like its life a lot better over here. So, good morning. So yeah, I wish you all a good week, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. Take care for now.